With the second pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Jaden Daniels, quarterback, LSU.
Hello and welcome to Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined as always by the Budman, Buddy Sanji. We're here at Old School Barbecue. Of course, it was a big weekend for sports, NFL Draft, NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs, and a whole lot more. We have a jam-packed show for you guys today. No show last week, so we're a little bit late on this announcement, but there is a new trophy coming to the trophy case at LSU. Of course, talking about Coach Jay Clark and those Lady Tigers with the Gymnastics taking home their first championship in program history. An outstanding job. Welcome in the Budman. Great to see you. I know you wanted to talk about the gymnasts. They did an outstanding job. It had to come from behind at the very end, executed flawlessly, and I got it done.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting, folks. When Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers won it all last year, that was something that had never happened before. Of course, Jay Johnson added to the trophy case later on in the year last year, making number 7. But first time ever LSU winning a national championship. We talked about it the last time we were here. That could be the next team to win a natty. Oklahoma had some falls on Thursday in the prelims. They get there slightly behind Utah. They gave them a little bit of a crease as they had a couple of falls on the vault. LSU did have a problem on one of the ladies not staying on the beam and slipping a little bit. But Finnegan, Leah Finnegan, Kaya, Haley, everybody down the stretch, Sierra Ballard, all of them nailing with the 9.95 and winning the natty. Obviously, the celebration was not anywhere near as big as the women's basketball. But once again, it's a good time had by all. Dee Dee Bro coached 43 plus years or whatever. She's a big part of it. All of the former LSU gymnast, and it's a feel-good story. And oh, by the way, me and the girlfriend had a cup of coffee yesterday over at the Waffle House, and I see about 10 of the lady gymnastics over there. And so to all of you, we toast you and lift our glasses, whether it's coffee, water, or any of your favorite libations. And you know the deal. It's hard to get there, but it's even tougher to stay on top.
Yep.
Got to talk to you about the Saints and the 3 guys and Tigers going in the first round. LSU baseball had a chance to get your broom a little bit of work, and that old, vaunted, hated shift causes LSU to get behind the 8 ball. So plenty to talk about along with football news as well.
Before we get into the NFL draft and LSU football, I want to let you guys take you back a couple weeks ago to the LSU National Championship. LSU Sports put out a great little video. It's a cinematic recap of the National Championship. This is the abridged version. I did shorten a little bit for your viewing, but go check it out on YouTube, LSU Sports YouTube page. It's a great video. Here it is, recapping the LSU's first national championship in gymnastics from about a week and a half ago.
But the eye of a hurricane is the center of the hurricane. And in the eye of the hurricane, it is completely still. It is quiet. You don't hear the wind. There is no rain. There is no nothing. It is calmness. And all the noise and all the wind and all the rampage is going on around it. But the eye of the hurricane is where we need to stay.
Outstanding freshman Amari Drayton follows a 9.925 from McLean.
That was one of the best double layouts I have seen. The second flip was almost higher than the first.
Here is the NCAA all-around champion, Haley Bryant.
This tumbling pass, double front, so difficult. One of the only gymnasts in the world to do.
I'll tell you what, she is unfazed and flew on the floor exercise, and Amari Drayton can fly here on vault as well.
Just during this vault in September, that was fantastic.
Kaya Johnson here on vault for the Tigers.
This difficult vault being done in the competition. Yurchenko double twist, the type of vault that we see at the Olympic Games. I think Coach Clark is going to be very happy with that landing.
Might be their first 9.9 here in this rotation. Haley Bryant, in my opinion, the greatest single piece of gymnastics done in the country.
Fantastic. Alexis has struggled with this dismount right here. No issues today.
third gymnast for the Tigers.
Kaya on bars. Watch how dynamic and quick she is on this event. She is so intentional about every single handstand like that. Wow. In my opinion, Kaya Johnson, the best double layout in Savannah on bars, double front, half twist, very difficult dismount.
They've got one rotation left. They're going to have to catch Utah in this rotation. Utah, they will end on the vault. Florida will be on the floor exercise. The Cal Bears will be on the even bars. LSU on the balance beam. Man, pressure on the Tigers.
And this LSU team needs this beam routine. This will give them a huge boost of confidence. On this screen, we have two gymnasts right here that I don't know if they realize how good they are.
Well, the world realizes how good they are.
As she hits the beam on this, she flies on her dismount. Watch her knees on the roundoff. Wow. Excellent. Another hit routine from LSU. For Leah, she's going to connect 3 skills in a row. This will set the tone. Back to spring layout. Wow. Fantastic. Just the dismount. Gainer full. Wow. You can see it on her face.
The greatest team to have never won a national title is no longer. They will get it. Maddie Williams finishes up for Cal on bars. Cannot catch the Tigers, but it will be the best finish in Cal Bear history as well.
Emotions for so many reasons. This team is full of individuals that have incredible character and integrity and love for each other, and all the things that you hear from coaches when they sit at a podium.
All right, that's a fantastic video. LSU Sports on their YouTube page. Go check out the whole thing. It's about 13 minutes, but it's excellent. Great shots, great commentary. Coach Jay Clark, sports psychologist, keeping those women zoned in.
Well, I tell you what, it was a long time coming. A lot of people are responsible, and kudos to them once again. And the interesting thing, JP, the beam has always been the toughest event to stay on. LSU is without a doubt the best team in the country on the floor, but they nailed the beam, 198.225, and of course, once again, kudos. And yeah, you were going to put your phone up. I had Susan Jackson on the show, one of the former great Hall of Famers, and that show them how the width of the balance beam.
The width of the balance beam is no longer than your cell phone length. So yeah, try to imagine doing a flip, landing on 1 foot in a space on a beam that's no wider than your cell phone is long. Unbelievable.
And of course, they led the country in attendance this year, and now they have brought LSU the next natty. The next possibility, in my opinion, could be Dennis Shaver and the women track team. But that being said, folks, LSU baseball 7-14, and not really playing with a lot of sense of urgency, and we know a lot of inconsistency, still having some problems with fundamentals. Of course, softball did get beat the last couple of weekends. They're now 12-12, played Liberty this weekend out at Tiger Park. And, of course, as we said, 3 Tigers, we'll talk about it. How about the decision? Joe Burrow decided to come to LSU, and he just got a new deal, $275 million or whatever, $55 a year. Jaden Daniels, not too bad coming over from AZ State. First-year deal, folks, $38 million, $24 million guaranteed. Who would have thought it? If we just said that a year and a half ago, nobody would have raised their hands and thought that was happening. Same thing with Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr. of course, 6 Tigers drafted, another 5 as undrafted free agents.
We'll take our first break of this episode of Tigers Roar. Of course, don't forget to check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Everything we do here at the Pelican is archived right there for you viewing pleasure. While you're at the page, click the like, notification, and the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. It helps with the algorithm, and you get notified every time we post something new right there at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Quick break. We'll come back and talk some NFL draft. You're watching Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
If you're ready to score savings on your new vehicle, the play call is simple. Make your way to Team Honda. That's where you can see the new 24 Civic, named the #1 compact car on the road and the best compact car for the money. Score your new Honda savings at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche and Buddy Sanji here from Old School Barbecue, Pelican Studios, bringing you some more talk of LSU, some NFL draft, of course, was this past weekend from Detroit, Michigan. Got to tip the hat to Detroit, did a great job putting on that event. It looked like it was packed each and every day. Beautiful stages. I mean, I thought they did a great job, bud, man. What do you think?
Yeah, this thing has turned into an event on its own. And by the way, we know that the Saints are going to have the Superdome and obviously the Super Bowl next year, right?
Right.
But I had this question posed to me, and you being a New Orleans native and living over there and obviously being a big Saints fan, when do you think New Orleans will get the honor of hosting the draft? And, oh, by the way, Rory McIlroy, you got a little tidbit for you later on.
Yep,
Him and
yep.
Shane Lowry, his partner, win the Zurich Classic, so that was going on. But what was your opinion of the Saints draft? But we'll get into that as well. But obviously a lot of hype and a lot of successful endeavors. Once again, folks, you're replacing 3 first-round draft choices on offense. So hold on to your hat right now when you want to put LSU in the playoff here for 2024. A long way to go, but I thought Detroit did a fantastic job with the draft. JP.
So first overall, Chicago had the pick from Carolina. They took quarterback from USC, Caleb Williams. No shock there. Second overall, the Heisman-winning trophy quarterback from LSU, Jaden Daniels, is selected to the Washington Commanders. New head coach Dan Quinn likes what he saw from the player in college, both with his arm and with his feet. We'll let you guys hear from the quarterback. Here is Jaden Daniels. After he got drafted, he was asking questions about his new situation heading towards Washington and what he expects to get out of that situation. Here is quarterback Jaden Daniels.
Honestly, they did a pretty good job. Not showing their hand too much, but the conversation I had, I was pretty confident. Basic off the conversation that we had, that I was able to come here and fit into the Commanders team. I'm here now. I can't wait to get to work. It was awesome. I mean, Coach DQ is a great guy that a lot of people speak highly of, who he is as a person and how he cares about his players. So I was excited to be around him, and it's just the offensive staff. Their track record speaks for itself. Obviously, Cliff was over there with Kyler and what he did as a head coach, and for quite some time, he had Kyler in the MVP conversation. So I was excited to be able to just chop it up and talk ball with him. No, I mean, it's other great candidates that were able to be the number 2 overall pick. So I'll never look at it like that. God put me in this position. Obviously, my story is written, and I'm just following the path of following his lead. So if it wasn't meant for me to be here, then there's great other quarterbacks that could have been here too. But I'm excited to get to work now. Obviously, it's a new regime there, and I'm excited just to come in and really just change the culture and help the team win in each and every way that I can. Come in, work hard, and we'll see where the course takes itself. He was excited and respected my journey. He respected how hard I work. The amount of work that I put in to get to this point now. So that's pretty much what he said. A competitor, a leader, but somebody that just wants to win at all costs, and help the team win no matter what, because it's team first always. So I'm excited.
So Washington gets their quarterback of the future. Jaden Daniels goes number 2 overall. There was a big run on quarterbacks, Bud, man. 6 in the first 12 picks. Of course, Drake May goes 3rd overall to the Patriots. Brian Thomas Jr., you're seeing his dad on the screen right now. We're going to get to it. But another first-round selection for LSU. He went 23rd overall to Jacksonville. Jacksonville had a run on LSU Tigers.
Duval.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
Duval, right? Yeah. And so Brian Thomas Jr. was selected, the second wide receiver from LSU to be selected. Malik Neighbors goes to the Giants at number 6. Of course, there was some talk that the Giants were going to be in the market for a quarterback. The quarterbacks went so quick. Boom, 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 boom. Thought they might have been in for J.J. McCarthy. But they get Malik Neighbors. And then Brian Thomas Jr. goes 23 overall to the Jaguars. Brian Thomas Jr., of course, Brian Thomas Sr., his father and his mother, Sandra, were both in Detroit for the draft. And they were interviewed after their son was selected. Their interview answers went absolute viral, Bud, man. They stole the show. Absolute comical answers. Didn't mean to be so deadpan, but it came across hilarious. We'll let you guys see it if you haven't seen it already. Here's Brian Thomas Jr.'s parents talking about their son being drafted, both what it means to go to Jacksonville and how far their family has come.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
If you're ready for a do-it-all vehicle with smooth handling and smart interior styling, look no further than the new 2024 Honda CR-V. Once again named a Car and Driver's 10 Best Trucks and SUV list. Come save on your new CR-V right now at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
Caught spiders, Premier Pest Services.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
With a variety of sizes and a consistently high level of quality throughout the lineup, Mazda's been named the best SUV brand by U.S. News and World Report. We invite you to experience the Mazda difference at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline, a member of the Team Automotive Group.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. Don't forget to check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Everything we do here at the Pelican is archived right there for your viewing pleasure. So if you miss any of this episode, go check it out once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. We're talking some NFL draft. This past weekend from Detroit, Michigan, LSU had 3 first-round picks. Of course, second overall, quarterback Jaden Daniels. 6th overall, wide receiver Malik Neighbors goes to the New York Giants. And 23rd overall, Mr. Brian Thomas Jr. gets selected by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both his parents were in attendance in Michigan for the draft. They were asked about their family journey, how far they've come as a family, and also what it means to get drafted to Jacksonville. Here is Brian Thomas Jr.'s parents from the draft.
It's awesome. That's all I can tell you. It's awesome. It's an awesome feeling.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Enjoy it, you guys. You guys want to put out a Duval? You know, that's what they say in Jacksonville, like a really loud Duval. You understand? What is that? Oh, we're going to have to work on that.
How far did your family come? All the way from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's about 1,000 miles from Baton Rouge to Michigan. So she had a point that did go a long way. And, how about a Duval? What is that, right? We're from Baton Rouge. We don't know about any counties in Florida outside of like Wade Davis, Miami maybe, but no. Duval. What is that? I thought it was fantastic. Perfect answers.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And of course, when it happened on live TV, Laura Ingraham is one of my favorites. And she didn't have the best night. She did call one of the moms by a wrong name. But look, everything's so fast and furious. And you have all these reactions. Once again, obviously, she was talking about the journey. And I got to tell you something. We said the same thing about Brian Thomas Jr. as we're now saying about Shelton Sampson's. Now listen to me, Mr. Sampson. I'm talking about the son. You can be as good as you want to be if you put the work in. Terrace Marshall was the 3rd complimentary receiver, and you saw what he did.
Yep.
Now Brian Thomas Jr., we were asking this question last year. How good can that young man be, and how good does he want to be? And he led the country in 17 touchdown receptions. Jaden Daniels, all those guys on the same page. We're going to have another cast of characters at wide receiver. But obviously, just down-home, good country people that, look, one thing about it. But if you would, for those that don't know about Duval and that county in Florida, how that came about, and of course, I'm sure they are up to snuff. But that was a priceless moment if you saw all of the coverage. And, oh, by the way, one other tidbit. Roger Goodell has recently gotten back surgery and got picked up. And it was almost a Heimlich move.
Right.
He was picked up and bent over by J.C. Latham, And lo and behold, he was a little ginger after that. So, but anyway, I know you want to expound on how far you guys have come.
Yeah, so anyway, LSU has 6 players drafted. We do have a graphic. We'll go ahead and show that for you. It's AT. It's on the B-roll slide. There you go, perfectly. NFLSU, the 2024 class right there. Of course, Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr. Mason Smith goes to the 2nd round to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, he has all the size, power, and speed you want in a prototypical, 3-down defensive tackle. But, yeah, didn't have the production we thought he would have as an LSU Tiger. 2nd-round pick. You're shocked by it.
Yeah, look, we all know Mason Smith, of course, was fantastic and had that just ludicrous bad break when he was celebrating a play early in the Florida State game in the Superdome a couple years ago and was out for the year and was slow to come back. But this goes to show you this is all about potential. Jordan Jefferson also went ahead of Mekhi Wingo. Mekhi Wingo went 6th round to Detroit. And, of course, Jordan Jefferson also went with the Jaguars, didn't he?
That's right. That's correct. Jaguars picked 3 different Tigers on this evening. You see them all right there, Thomas Jr., Smith, and Jefferson, all going to reunite under that Matt House-style defense because you know where he is, the Jaguars.
Well, he's a linebacker coach. He won't have anything to do with the coordinator. But, look, we wish Mason Smith the best of luck. The first thing they got to do, you know this, got to get him to play lower his pad level. He's always been too high. When you're 6'5", 6'6", you can't stand up straight. These younger guys, these lighter guys, these inside and interior guys get up underneath you and move you with leverage. But how far have you come? And Ms. Thomas, I thought that they handled it. Look, they're just being themselves, JP.
No, genuine, God-fearing people that gave a genuine answer in the time. They weren't given like the politically correct, have their answers already polished, ready to go. Genuinely, she answered the question as best she could. I thought it was fantastic. Deadpan comedy is my favorite. It was my style. But what is that? The Duval comment. Absolute classic. They're going to get educated on it, no doubt. I'm sure all 3 players are going to be saying Duval on social media before you can even blink. We'll talk about the Saints draft coming up. They had a 1st-round pick this season. They actually turned in a logical pick, Budman. Position of need. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more after this break. You're watching Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
If you're looking for the perfect companion for family fun and adventure, or wanting to find adventure beyond the ordinary, experience all that the Toyota Tundra has to offer. Save on your new Tundra right now at Team Toyota, I-12 at O'Neill.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. Jonathan Poche, Buddy Sanjay here at Old School Barbecue, Pelican Broadcasting Studios. Don't forget, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Had a bunch in the first segment about LSU Gymnastics taking home their first national championship in program history. Now we're talking some NFL draft. We went through the LSU draft picks, where those players got drafted. But now it's getting to the New Orleans Saints, Coach Dennis Allen, and what seems to be a very important year for his job's sake. Made logical picks. You see it right there on the screen. First pick was an offensive tackle from Oregon State, Talisi Fuaga. In a lot of people's opinion, the second best tackle behind Joe Alt in this draft. I thought it was a good pick for the Saints. Absolutely a position of need. When James Hurst comes out the day the draft says he's retiring, you don't know how significant that injury to Ramczyk is. They're talking it might be career-ending. So only 2 available linemen on the roster, with Andrews Pete being a free agent. This was an absolute grand slam of a pick, in my opinion. In a position of need, the guy's tough. He didn't give up a sack in 3 years. He's a run blocker. He's physical, and the kind of player the Saints need. Yeah, has made most of his headway over at right tackle. We'll see if they flip him over there. And, folks, you got to have consistency at left tackle. LSU fans have been spoiled ever since Will Campbell has been the starter over there at left tackle. The Saints have had, a lot of plug-and-play guys and injuries, as always. So, excellent first pick for the Saints. Second-round pick. Saints get back up into the second round. Pick a cornerback out of Alabama. A lot of LSU fans familiar with this name. You don't forget a name like Kool-Aid McKinstry, but a guy that was supposed to come to LSU, flipped to Bama, had a good career for Coach Nick Saban over there for the Crimson Tide. Dude's a player. Coach Dennis Allen says he's going to train him as the slot corner. Now, the Saints had a guy that played the slot all last season. They absolutely love Alontae Taylor. He can play the corner. He can play slot. He was, drafted as a safety. So, the Saints, pretty good cornerback room, but I like the pick, Kool-Aid McKinstry. A lot of conjecture about Lattimore and his future with the Saints. And, of course, Kool-Aid, hey, listen, I would imagine there'll be some bar on the strip over at the French Quarter coming up with a special drink for Kool-Aid once he takes one to the house. Saints did not have a third or a fourth round pick. Jumping to the fifth round, Spencer Rattler out of South Carolina. If you guys remember, coming out of high school, this was the #1 overall quarterback coming out of high school. Of course, was at Oklahoma until a guy named Caleb Williams showed up on campus, and then Spencer Rattler kind of saw the writing on the wall. Transfers to South Carolina, did not have a lot of help with his offensive line. But Budman, this kid certainly has the arm talent, is mobile enough in the pocket, but a special arm, can make all the throws. Has kind of like a baseball player's release. He can whip it around, change his throwing angles, just like Patty Mahomes does. So, look, a huge upside, especially for the fifth-round pick. Well, look, let's throw the C word in there. He's got to be more consistent. Some games he's lights out, 400 yards passing. Other games he's 180 with 2 picks and 2 touchdowns. And so you need some security behind obviously Carr, and we know that, look, there's a lot of guys that get drafted, and I don't know why, but your second and third team quarterbacks generally play roles because, as we know in this league, you get your guy beat up a little bit, especially with Carr not being the most escapable guy in the pocket. Yeah, the Saints have now selected a quarterback in 3 of the last 4 drafts. Spencer Rattler was the MVP of the Senior Bowl this past season. The season before, the MVP of the Senior Bowl was Jake Haener, the Saints' other backup quarterback. So there will be a quarterback competition for that #2 spot here going into training camp. 2 more fifth-round picks. Bub Means, a big-bodied receiver out of Pitt, and Jalen Ford, middle linebacker from Texas, a big program. Kid played a lot of football, a lot of production for Texas. He's going to work into special teams right away, I think, for the Saints. Need the big wide, and obviously it's going to be interesting to see who becomes wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 in that group, Chris Olave and all those guys. Yeah, I have no problem with these picks so far. Number 6, sixth round, Christian Boyd out of a small school, the University of Northern Iowa. If you're familiar with that school, you might have heard it before. The Saints drafted a guy a couple years back out of the University of Northern Iowa named Trevor Penning. And all we heard about was how physical Trevor Penning was, how strong at the point of attack he was. Well, here's some good news for Saints fans. Christian Boyd set the all-time record for bench press reps at 225 at UNI. 38 reps. This boy is strong. He's short, stocky, short arms. He's going to plug some holes right in the middle of the D-line.
Anytime you get over 25 into the 30s, you're really lifting it. Now, once again, what do you do on a football field that equates to bench press? Probably pushing people off the pile when you're trying to scramble and recover a fumble. But anytime you get some big uglies and some physical players, you like it.
And, of course, that 7th-round pick, hoping to get another small school tackle a la, Teron Armstead. Hosea Ezram out of Eastern Kentucky University. They liked what they saw down in Mobile when he came down to the Senior Bowl. Jari Evans had a chance to go spend a lot of time with him that week. They love the head on this kid's shoulders. He was at a small school, so, his tape is impressive. He's blocking guys that look like they're high school players going against grown men. He needs to add some depth. It was good to get another tackle, just to have young blood to get those reps come springtime.
Look, we're talking football here. Tomorrow is going to be the first day of May. Saints will have some mini camps, and then they'll go to the full camp in July. And all you Tiger and Saints fans, be cognizant of the final part of it as we get ready to go to the beach. And baseball's not doing well, so everybody in the SEC is going to be kicking up sand on that black and gold and that purple and gold towel. But that all being said, LSU's going through with a new quarterback and a new coordinator, and the Saints obviously with a new coordinator. What do you think new coordinator brings to the table?
Well, but man, the good thing about the new coordinators, there's not a lot of tape on them in the system with the players that they have. So one, you don't know what to expect when you're going into a ball game. You have to improve, I think, offensively, Bud, man. And like I said earlier, this is an important year for Coach Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
If the Saints don't make the playoffs, and I mentioned this on Coach Chris Powers' show yesterday, I think it's not only if the Saints don't make the playoffs, if the Saints don't look like they're going to make the playoffs in the middle of the year, it's time to make a move. With coaches sitting out of football like Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel, proven winners that know how to lead franchises without jobs, there is no time to sit on that coaching carousel. You want to be in front of it so you can get your pick of the litter. And look, Derek Carr is going to have to be drastically improved in the red zone. They will be improved, I think, in the passing game just for the timing's sake and the route tree. They have to be improved, man.
Look, that's another thing I wanted to bring up, folks. There were a lot of options. We talked about the way Detroit did the draft, but I watched ESPN. I watched ABC with Saban and those guys. I watched the NFL Network, and I just saw a little bit of Pat and Belichick. Who were your favorites, and how did you think Belichick and Saban did? Obviously, these are two very close coaches that have been champions wherever they've gone for the most part, and we know that Bill has done an incredible job, but did not find a gig last year. And, of course, Saban, I thought, was a seamless transition over to the TV booth.
No, I thought Nick Saban, I don't know if you saw it, Bud, man, but he broke down, what it takes, what separates, good players from great players, and how you can teach he just gave an analogy of baseball. You can teach a player, what the strike zone is and how to swing a bat, but you really can't teach him that intuition of what is a strike when it leaves the pitcher's hand, or you can teach him how to, knock down a ball, try to intercept it, but what to do in the split second of it, the intuition, the natural instincts is what makes players special. I showed my kids the clip. I thought it was fantastic, a fantastic explanation of, you can teach the whole group the same drills, but there are going to be some players that rise above the rest. Bill Belichick won't be a talking head for very long, but, man, he's going to have to go find himself a job. A wealth of football knowledge. The guy knows how to both evaluate and develop talent. The Patriots, for the longest time, were like the only team in the NFL that were playing players both ways. There was a hole, they filled it, they got the most out of their lineup. They weren't drafting, 6'3", 6'4" receivers. They were drafting, 5'10", 6-foot guys that could play, a punt return slot, play the slot for running back, maybe get a carry out the backfield. So I thought they both did a great job. I thought they both added a very good light to the coverage. I think Mike Greenberg does a fantastic job when he's ever hosting it. I enjoyed the coverage. Thought Detroit did a great job, and I enjoyed it, Bud, man.
I don't think Belichick is going to get full control the next time he gets a head coaching opportunity. And You hear plenty of analogies. Look, if you want me to cook the meal, you got to let me pick up the ingredients at Whole Foods or wherever you shop. That all being said, we'll see if Belichick gets back. Saban, I thought, was a seamless transition.
Yeah.
And one other perk that we did not realize, Nick Saban still talked highly about LSU and the players.
Yep.
And oh, by the way, he actually had a little slip up. He admitted on national TV that they had broken some rules and went after a guy in the transfer portal, and we tried to get this guy to get out the portal and all. This has been going on. They tried to do it with Bad Boy, of course, as we know, Keyshawn Booty and others. And so a lot of people are happy that Nick's no longer a parole in the sidelines. It'll be interesting to see everything I'm getting, JP. Georgia, Texas, Alabama, and Ole Miss probably preseason ranked ahead of LSU, and Oklahoma maybe as well. So be patient, but Saints and Tigers, who's got the better year of the two teams?
I had to say the Tigers. Saints have to prove that they are able to win some games. Speaking of, had the head coach Dennis Allen talking about his draft picks. Don't want to get down. Got to have an optimistic outlook to this year, so good luck, Coach. Certainly hope this works out for you. But here is the head coach, Dennis Allen, talking about the third day of the draft, that 5th, 6th, 7th round. The Saints really picks up some depth for their roster. Here's head coach Dennis Allen.
All right. Look, I think we added, 5 guys to our team. Obviously, this is an area in the draft where you're really talking about some developmental prospects, guys that probably come in and they're competing for backup spots. They're competing for back into the roster, practice squad. And hopefully they're people that, and obviously we saw skill sets that we wanted to work with and try to develop. And look, special teams is an aspect of that. So I thought we did a nice job of adding some different pieces to our football team today.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it was that kind of excited y'all or intrigued you about Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, well, look, I think just from an arm talent standpoint and the ability to make all the throws, I mean, he can make a ton of throws. He's got enough mobility in the pocket. Look, I think this is a guy that, has been through a lot of adversity, faced a lot of criticism, and he's come out on the other side. And I think that's a good quality to have as a quarterback. And so, look, he's got a skill set that we want to work with. I think he's an excellent thrower of the football. And so I think where we were in the draft at that point in time, look, this is a guy that, was considered by a lot of people a couple of years ago as a potential number 1 pick in the draft. So I think there's a lot of talent there, and that's somebody that we're excited about working with.
Were you all, was where he was available was surprising and kind of like
look, the quarterback position is kind of funny in terms of the draft, and where people see guys and where you go and take them. I mean, obviously with so many quarterbacks going early in the draft, then there was a lot of other positions that now became available throughout the rest of the draft. And I just felt like, look, we had a nice grade on him and felt like, I mean, it was pretty obvious as you're sitting there watching the draft go and you kind of got this one name sitting over there and we'd been sitting around for a while, really all the third, all the fourth, and a little bit of the fifth before we got an opportunity to pick. So, and a lot of the second. So we sat around for a little while, and that name just kept staring at us, And so when it became our time to pick, it was, really obvious that was the right choice.
Dennis, obviously you guys had Drew here for so long. It's never something you really had to worry about. Barely ever took quarterbacks. Now
3 in the last 4 years. Do you guys view it just organizationally as just a smart thing to always just kind of be?
Well, look, I think you're always looking at the quarterback position. I think it's a fallacy to say that there was never any quarterbacks drafted when Drew was here. I mean, there were several quarterbacks that were drafted during Drew's time. Never was there one that was drafted really high, but there was several quarterbacks that were drafted in the, I don't know if it was as high as the 3rd, but I know the 4th through the 7th round, there was a lot of picks that were taken. So I just think that's a position that you're always looking to see how you can increase the value of that position. And look, we feel good about our quarterback room. We feel good about our starting quarterback. And now we feel good that we have a couple of guys, in my opinion, that are good developmental quarterbacks. And the great thing about it is both Jake and Spencer have an opportunity to come in and compete to make the roster, compete for the backup position, and get a chance to sit in the room with Derek and learn how to play the quarterback position.
Long wait between picks yesterday, 3rd round, today, 4th round. Was that challenging to kind of stay patient, or were there trades that y'all were pursuing?
Yeah, look, I mean, we're always paying close attention to the board and who's available. And, when there's a player that we're really, in love with, we kind of see when it makes sense for us to potentially give something up to move up to take that player. There were some discussions that went on today, and some of the guys that we liked, went off pretty early before it really made sense for us to, give up, future picks or give up some of these back end picks. Obviously when you're talking about when our picks are in the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds, the value of those picks, it makes it harder for you to move up, or you're going to have to package 3 or 4 of those picks to move up, to one position. So we felt like today the right thing to do was kind of sit and wait, and I feel like it worked out for us.
That's interesting in the case of Rattler when you said that Magnet was kind of staring there for a long time. I mean, obviously he's a guy you could have made the move for, but what was the thinking in letting the draft decide that for you? Or
yeah, well, I just think again it wasn't a position that we felt like, man, we have to address this, and we felt like keeping those picks in the back end could be valuable to us, and adding some more depth players potentially to our roster. And so kind of wanted to, hold on to those, and yet, it wasn't easy to just, hang on when you knew that name was kind of sitting there. So, but sometimes the best move is to, let the draft come to you instead of going and trying to make it happen, and that's what we did today.
And that was head coach of the New Orleans Saints, Dennis Allen, right here on Tigers Roar, talking about the Saints draft at rounds 5, 6, and 7. Mostly taking questions about Spencer Rattler and the process, and when you choose a guy, when you move up to choose a guy, when you stay where you're at. And I thought the Saints did a good job just letting the draft kind of come to them and picking the best player available at a position of need.
6 quarterbacks going into the first 12, and a record. This was the longest before a defensive player has ever been taken. LSU fans can relate to that. What does it say about the game of football, JP, that you have all the offensive stars going before the defensive studs?
Yep, we're going to take another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We'll come back with some golf talk. We'll talk about the Zurich Classic down in New Orleans. Don't want to miss it. You're watching Pelican Sports TV.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
If you're ready to score savings on your new vehicle, the play call is simple. Make your way to Team Honda. That's where you can see the new 24 Civic, named the #1 compact car on the road and the best compact car for the money. Score your new Honda savings at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Certainly appreciate you tuning into this episode. If you missed any of it, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Well, this past weekend down in New Orleans, TPC Louisiana held the Zurich Classic. And, of course, Rory McIlroy teams up with Shane Lowry. They take home the trophy, Budman. Great for the tournament to have Rory McIlroy win.
First time he's ever been into New Orleans to play in a tournament. I think it's the first time he's ever been to the Crescent City, and obviously we know that with the food and the libations and just I guess nobody welcomes newcomers to this state and that city like New Orleans. I'm sure he had the beignets and the oysters and all the other things, but they were able to come back. They started with a bogey on the first hole on the last day. Best ball the first day, alternate shot day 2. Best ball day 3, alternate shot day 4, and people haven't talked about it, but right out of the gate, Lowry puts one in the junk, in the bushes, and McIlroy does a great job of punching it out. An incredible shot. They make bogey, and the rest is history. Birdied 3 or 4 holes down the stretch, and unfortunate for the guys that they played. The guys they played in the playoff had scored a 63. JP, that is the lowest ever on alternate shot. That is 9 under, but they finished 3 hours before McIlroy and Lowry, so they were a little bit cold and ended up making bogey on the first playoff hole, but certainly great for the city of New Orleans, and I guarantee you they celebrated, and I think New Orleans and McIlroy fit like a glove, don't they?
Speaking of celebrating, take a look at how Rory McIlroy celebrated his win at the Zurich Classic. That was a great performance right there by Lowry and McElroy, not only on the golf, but on the stage. Of course, New Orleans loves their music, and they did a great job. Handled a classic by Journey and Don't Stop Believing.
Don't Stop Believing. We say it all the time. And Bag of Donuts brought them up. Of course, we've all seen them over here in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, and they are a great taste of Louisiana music, cuisine, and camaraderie, and the culture. Once again, great weekend for the city of New Orleans with the draft picks and the draft. Obviously, I was talking to JP. Matt McMahon is doing better on the recruiting front with men's basketball, but he's got to light up a room. Same thing with Dennis Allen. Doesn't exactly exude confidence after you see his press conference.
So we couldn't let you guys get out of here, this episode of Tigers Roar, without bringing up the Atlanta Falcons and how they Atlanta Falconed the entire draft. 8th overall quarterback Michael Penix, just 5.5 weeks after you give Kirk Cousins, who also plays quarterback, $100 million guaranteed. Now, you might say, Terry Fontenot, that, yeah, if you're in love with the guy, you pick him no matter what. If you love Michael Penix that much, you could have loved him 6 weeks ago before you gave Kirk Cousins $100 million. A complete misappropriation of resources. Missed the entire, exercise of the draft, not building around who you said was going to be your franchise quarterback. Falcons are going to Falcon. You don't have to beat them. They're going to beat themselves, bud, man.
Couldn't happen to a better franchise.
That's it.
Arthur Blank, by the way, who is a gazillionaire, once again. Fontenot, didn't he work with the Saints?
Sure did.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden, maybe he's hurt Atlanta indirectly. Obviously, that's a joke there. But look, hope all of you are doing well. Once again, baseball out of the box this weekend, 7 o'clock, 6:30, and Sunday afternoon, Texas A&M coming in. And Jay Johnson and the guys have had trouble. They have won the last 2 weekend series, but it was against the 2 worst teams in the league, Missouri and, of course, Auburn this past weekend. So if they could somehow win 2 out of 3, they'd get a chance. They got to get to 13 and 17 to possibly go into the NCAA tournament.
LSU hosts Grambling tonight at the box as we tape here on April the 30th. Certainly appreciate you tuning into this episode of Tigers Roar. For AT and Marty, for the Budman, I'm Jonathan Poche. Don't forget, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. You've been watching Pelican Sports TV.